Hello and welcome to the Learning Love Podcast. I'm Dr. Mark A. Hicks, author of the book Learning Love. It is possible to build the healthy, happy, thriving relationships you have always wanted. So let's spend some time learning love. Love is the answer. Now all we have to do is explore all the questions. And today's question is, how do we sustain that healthy relationship? If the relationship is basically healthy, it may not be perfect. In fact, it's not perfect. No relationship is perfect. But how do we go about sustaining it when we are doing pretty well? Or how do we begin to think about how to get it pretty well? How do we get to that better place if we're looking to kind of take that next step toward health and happiness in our relationships? There is a trick to it that I want to show you today. There's a basic rule that I want you to learn, and I'm going to tell you up front, there are exceptions to this rule. So it's not ironclad all the time, but as a general rule, it will help you. And it is this: relationships are not about doing what is hard. Relationships are about doing what is easy consistently. Let me say that again. Relationships are not about doing what is hard. Relationships are about doing what is easy consistently. Now, there are exceptions to that. If you are in a crisis, you have to step up and do what is hard. Okay, that's just the nature of a crisis. You have to do what is hard during that crisis. If you are in a dysfunctional, toxic, or abusive relationship, then it's just going to be hard. Okay, the relationship is going to be extraordinarily hard to maintain. And so this rule isn't going to apply very well to those dysfunctional, toxic, or abusive relationships, because everything is going to be hard in those. And when there's a crisis, obviously we have to step up. If someone is sick, if there is a tragedy of some kind, a trauma of some kind, that's the time we step up and we do what is hard. But we are not meant to live in crisis. We are never meant to live a sustained life of crisis all the time. If you are doing that, it's a real good sign that you are in a dysfunctional place, that you're in a toxic or abusive type relationship if you are living in constant crisis. Life has its fair share of hard times, but it has its fair share of good times too. When we get out of this crisis mode, if we are in a basically healthy relationship, again, we're not talking about perfection. Every relationship can have its problems, but if we're basically sustaining a healthy relationship, it's going to have ups and downs. There's going to be good days and bad days. There's going to be stuff that happens. We're going to basically experience life. Life to its fullest has good times and bad times along the way. That's okay. And if you want to sustain those healthy relationships, keep them healthy, get them to a good place and keep them there, and keep evolving that relationship as it grows into a more healthy, happy, thriving relationship, focus on what is easy and do that consistently. We don't have to have grand gestures. We don't have to do the big stuff all the time. We need to do the little stuff, the easy stuff, consistently. For instance, it's really not hard to say thank you. Toddlers learn how to say thank you. If you give a toy to a 3-year-old, there's a good chance they're going to say thank you, because that's the way parents teach their toddlers to react when someone does something for them. You can hear parents do that. You're around a 2-year-old child and you hand them a toy, you'll very often hear the parents say something like, "Say thank you." We teach little kids how to do this. It's not hard. Say thank you when your spouse, your friends, your coworkers do something nice. That's not hard. The hard thing becomes to do it consistently, because we're distracted, or because we just aren't in the habit of it, or because we think they should be nice. They should be doing these things for me. I don't need to appreciate that. And we take it for granted. Those little things are what sustain a relationship, the easy stuff. It's really not hard to do household chores. It's annoying for some people. Some people I know that enjoy it, but a lot of people I know do not. It's annoying. It's not something we want to do. It's not enjoyable, but it's not hard. If you are a basically healthy person who can walk upright, you can run a vacuum cleaner. It's not that difficult. Doing those things around the house, doing your fair share within the family to make sure the household runs well, are those little things that we can do that are basically easy, even if we don't enjoy it. They're easy to do. The trick is to do it consistently, to make sure we're not just waiting till we're motivated, that we're not waiting till somebody's mad at us for not carrying our fair share around the house, to consistently do what is easy. Talking about things, listening to your partner, your friends, your coworkers when they talk to you, learning how to listen. If you have hearing that is functional, you have a basic level of hearing, then you can listen. It's just a matter of paying attention. It's not hard, but we need to do that consistently. Putting down your phone and actually listening when someone tells you something is not very hard to do physically, but we have to get into the mental habit of it. When we do what is easy consistently, we have a better chance of building and sustaining that healthy, happy relationship. Now, some people try to do just the opposite. They ignore their spouse. They really don't listen. They don't care about doing stuff around the house to help out. They don't even do simple things like say thank you. They just take the whole thing for granted. And then once a year, this couple is going to take a fabulous romantic trip to Italy, which is hard. It's great, but it's hard. It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of money. You have to get a passport. You have to do all the things to make sure that you have your flight, you have your hotel, you have all the things that you want to do there. You have plenty of money to spend, and you go and have this fabulous time. Now, when you're there having that amazing time in an amazing place, you're probably going to feel pretty good about the relationship. It's probably going to feel like things are really coming together for you. And then you're going to come home to that same routine and those same bad habits. That grand gesture that may feel good at the time and really be something that you enjoy, feels like you're really getting somewhere in that relationship, is not going to sustain you over time. Doing those hard things, the big things, the grand gestures, that's more icing on the cake. That's stuff that really just adds to a healthy relationship. It's good things to do sometimes. If you can do that, planning those big grand gestures, doing something fabulous with your spouse, your family, your friends, doing some great thing can be something that really helps your relationships, but it's not going to sustain them if that's what you're counting on. It's not about doing what is hard. It's about doing what is easy consistently. Doing those things that build good relationships every day, the little stuff, not taking people for granted, listening to what they say, doing your fair share around the house, the office, whatever it is, being a good person, being polite, being kind. These things are not difficult. We just haven't really gotten into the habit of it sometimes in our relationships. Now, why is that? It could be because you were raised in a family that was somewhat dysfunctional, or maybe a lot dysfunctional, and your parents took each other for granted. And that's your picture of marriage. They just stuck it out and didn't really appreciate each other or treat each other well. If that's what you grew up watching, that's your picture of marriage. And then you're going to wonder, well, why isn't this working? Well, maybe your spouse didn't want to be treated that way. Just because it may have worked somehow for your parents doesn't mean it's going to work in your relationship as an adult. Also, I think we've sort of gotten into this idea in our society that everything is a battle. Everything is something to conquer. You can hear this in a lot of self-help books and videos. Everything has the language of war. We're going to crush our goals. We're going to hack our life. We're going to slay our fears. When we get that mentality that everything is a battle, that everything is something to be conquered, everything is a mountain to be climbed, when we stay in that mode, we forget the little things. They seem very trivial. We're trying to conquer something here. And if we bring that mentality to our relationships, that we've got to crush this relationship, we've got to do the big stuff, we're going to have the greatest marriage in the history of marriage, we're going to show these other people what marriage is really supposed to be. When we get into that mentality, when we're just trying to crush it, we're trying to conquer, we're trying to climb that mountain, then we tend to focus on the hard stuff. the big stuff, and we don't do what is easy consistently. And that's going to wear away your relationship. It's just going to erode slowly. It doesn't mean that it starts out bad. That can be fun to have those kind of big gestures, but it will slowly erode your relationship over time if you're not doing the easy stuff consistently. So pay attention to that. Make sure that you are doing the small stuff, the little stuff consistently, so that the big stuff is just bonus. It's icing on the cake. It's something fun. It's something exciting to mix life up a little bit and to sort of have an extra special memory in that relationship. That's a great thing to do. But you have to sustain it through the little stuff. Do what is easy consistently. Don't get into the idea that everything is a mountain to climb. Now, the other aspect to this that will really help you is sort of give up the idea of controlling relationships. One of the reasons that we don't focus on the little stuff is because we like to sort of plan what that relationship's going to be. We want to push the relationship in a certain way, and that seems like it would take a lot of effort. We want to control things, and especially if we've been through a lot of trauma in our life, if we've been through abuse or we've been through tragedy of some kind, we may really have this sense that we've got to control things. And when we get into that mentality, we are getting into a manipulative type of attitude where we want to push the relationship and mold it into an image that we want it to be. Again, that's going to take big gestures. That's going to take pushing. That's going to take controlling. That's going to take a lot of effort to do the big stuff to make the relationship be what we want. And that's when we become willing to have just terrible fights. We're going to have just knockdown, drag out, terrible things happen in that relationship because it feels like if we don't get our way, all is going to be lost. That we have to win this relationship in order to build it into what we want it to be. Over the years, as I've talked with couples that were struggling in marriage counseling, almost every situation, there was some element of this, that people are trying to win the relationship. They had gotten to a place that they felt like that if they didn't get their way, things were going to be lost. People wanted to control what this relationship was going to be for themselves. And it felt like if they gave in or compromised one little bit, that everything was going to be lost. That sense of control leads you to do monumental stuff, leads you to fight the big fight, to battle it through, to go to war if you need to. And that's a long way from being polite, saying thank you, helping out around the house, doing the little stuff to appreciate your spouse. And it may seem trivial next to the idea of going to war to make sure this relationship works for you. But it's actually what sustains a relationship. Relationships are built. They are not conquered. Life is lived. It's not something that's won. We need to get out of the mentality of conquering and winning in our relationships. It's not a mountain to be climbed. It's really more of a song to be sung, a dance to enjoy. And yeah, there's going to be missteps along the way when we are dancing, and there's going to be these weird things that happen because one person moves one way and one person moves the other, and we just have to laugh about that sometimes. And we have to sort of work our way through so that we learn to have this dance together in all the relationships in our life, particularly in marriage and romantic relationships, particularly in family, but also with friends, with co-workers. It is this dance that we do. It is a song to be sung together. And when we approach it that way, where we are doing our part, working together, doing the small things, the little things, the easy things consistently, we can build a healthy, happy, thriving relationship. Relationships are not to be conquered. It's not a mountain to climb. And the hard, big, grand gestures are there as a bonus. Something romantic you might do with your partner. Some big thing you might do at the office that everybody can celebrate. Those are great things, but they are bonus. If you want to build a healthy relationship, it's not about doing what is hard. It's about doing what is easy consistently. Get down to the basics and practice those every day. So that's my thoughts today on how you can build the happy, healthy, thriving relationships that you want in your life. And not just want, you deserve them. We all need and deserve happy, healthy, thriving relationships in our life. And that's what I want you to have. So I hope you'll go to my website, markahicks.com. Make sure to get my middle initial in there, markahicks.com. And there's a lot of things there, including easy links to buy my book, Learning Love, Building a Life That Matters, and Healthy Relationships That Last. It will help you build the kind of relationships you want in your life. So I hope you'll get your copy today. I want to thank my producer, Abby Graves of Abby Graves Production, and I want to thank all of you for listening today. Until next week, love well, everyone.